All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Bob and Jaron from Globebusters here. Well, you're right in the chat. This is going to be an interesting show. Well, not much of a show, more of a kind of little discussion. With me, I have Jaron from Jeranism, and we obviously found some information about the convex Earth, thanks to COFO72 for one, and also we had gotten some other videos mailed to us and or emailed to us. And needless to say, when we saw what we saw, boy, did we feel stupid. Okay, especially me. Now, I will say that when I was looking at their video today, well, first of all, let's say hi to Jern. Hey, Jern.
Sorry, I was busy eating my plate of crow over here.
Yeah,
So
mine too. I got a big plate of crow going on over here.
it's not bad. It's not bad, but no, yeah, shit happens, and in this case, Bilu happens. So
Yes, in this case, Bilu happened. All right, so let me tell you what happened today for those of you that did see the show. That's great. And we'll probably edit it and at least put the first part up where we kind of debunked the metabunk curvature or standard refraction calculator and all that. But as far as the second part, let me just say this, guys. I went into it, didn't look. I hadn't seen any of these other videos. Interestingly enough, the ones that I went to this morning were just, kind of nothing. And then we kept seeing this thing about Bilu, or Bilu? Yeah, Bilu coming up in our chat. And then we started looking at it. And then, of course, I went over to COFO72's channel and saw this particular video that you're seeing up here. And, well, needless to say, I was horrified. I immediately told Jaron, I said, there is no way I can stand behind these guys at this point after seeing this. And, I really wanted to have the best of faith in these guys because it seemed like they were legit. But when you see these videos, and I've got them pasted in our description under the show links, but basically, we've got this first one here by COFO72 Breadcrumbs, Blue Oyster Cult 2 Yearender, who of course is the head of the Convex Earth Tequila Research Society. And then we also have this one, Projecto Portal, which this one is, I don't know if you could even call this one kind of worse, but basically what it is they're talking to a little alien that is hiding behind a tree. And it's
tell
like,
everybody to get Earth this way.
I know. It's like, oh my God. And of course, this is where the actual model came from. So, yeah, God, I am beside myself, guys. Don't know what to say. But we got it wrong, and we will not allow these videos to stand. We've already pulled them. And like I said, as far as the rest of the show, like I said, we'll edit that down and probably repost it. And, I don't know what else to say other than this is horrifying. I'm going to go ahead and just play this first video by COFO72. I'm sure Paul won't mind. He's in the chat. But this pretty much tells you all you need to know about these guys, and I am really bummed out about it because, like I said, the Tequila Research Group is supposedly a group of 3,000 researchers, and at this point, I can believe absolutely nothing of what they have said. But let's go ahead and give this a watch really quick, and you guys can, make up your own mind on it. And again, hat tip to COFO72. Damn you, Paul, you just screwed up my whole day. But here we go.
Imaginary axis. The imaginary axis, even if there were physical axis, what would be inclined is the axis and not the spin.
Okay, so basically I'll let this run in the background, but as you can see, the Urender Faraday's UFO, his initials UFO, and of course people did mention that in the beginning, but I just thought, well, whatever, I really wasn't going to base much on that. But when you see things like this and the fact that he was apparently prosecuted, well, that makes things pretty ugly, doesn't it? And if you think this one's bad, guys, wait till you see the second one. And I don't think I'm going to do that. But hey, Red Flag Media, well, you know what? You're right on the money, buddy. And now
You
here
got
we
it.
are eating crow. So,
Well, I mean, I will say that I'm not really bummed about it myself because I made a point to say I didn't back this project or didn't back them. I appreciated some of the research. And, like I also said, I think that anybody can have varying beliefs. Anybody can believe anything they want. I said, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then there's no problem. Now, I didn't see these videos that clearly when you are pretending that you're talking to an alien in a bush, you are hurting people. You are flat out lying. And I'd be interested in having them on the show next week just because I want to hear it out of their mouth when I say, "Did you really talk to Bilu in a bush? Did he really tell you the Earth's flat?" If they actually came back and said, "Yes, that was really," I mean, what a bunch of dirtbags. Now, maybe they would say, "Well, no, we had found some of this stuff on our own and we didn't know how to really present it, so we presented it with this fake alien." Maybe they would say that. Now, and I'm not saying that's the right way to go about it, but even I've said before when I first started finding this stuff, I had to wait until Mark Sargent came out with videos because I wasn't going to be the first because I said, I'm not going to take this onto my shoulders. I'm going to wait. And then when Mark came out and I saw his video, I said, this is great. I'm going to make videos. And if anybody says anything to me, I'm just going to say that guy, I just did it because that guy did. I mean, that was something I've said before, that it was such a hard thing to come out and say. Now, I'm not saying that I ever thought, oh, I'm going to make an alien in a bush tell me that the earth is flat. But I don't know if that's what these guys did that for, or if they still are pulling, trying to propagate this hoax. Clearly, they're not talking to Bilu, an alien in a bush. It's a person. It's a man. It's ridiculous. And so I don't stand behind it. But when you start lying to people like that, then we have to pull the plug on it. I still would have said if it wasn't for Bilu and some of this other nonsense that, hey, you can have the craziest belief in the world and still go out and do experiments, and we can still take the good and leave the bad. But if you're flat out lying to people, if you're flat out, I mean, it's a joke. And so, no, we can't stand behind any of this. It doesn't even matter to me now if their experiments are legit. You didn't need to go and lie to people. And they still have these videos up. It's not like they pulled these a while back. It's just a video up, like they're still standing behind this. So I don't know. And Bob, you saw the email that they had agreed to come on the show next week, right?
yeah, absolutely. And that's something that, like I said, they said 2 months ago that they were very tight-lipped about the documentary, and they said that they would be interested in collaborating and even coming on the show. And as Jaron said on today's show, we had invited them to actually come on and talk about their research and all this stuff. Well, uh, they responded right after the show. We got an email, or Jaron got an email back, and they said that yeah, they would be interested in coming on the show. They would do that. And we were thinking, oh, great, this is going to be awesome. And of course, it didn't take very much long after that. And I came across the Kofo video, and oh man, then
So yeah,
what do
I was
you
going to
do?
say if they're listening to this or whatever, I would love for them to come on the show next week and try and tell me to my face that this is an alien being that for some reason speaks your language and hides in bushes and tells you that the Earth is not a sphere. Now the crazy thing is, for people who are seeing this for the first time, this video is 2011.
Yeah,
So
7 years ago. Imagine
yeah,
that.
7 years ago. So they weren't lying about how long they've been doing the research, but it still baffles
I
me
think it's
that
more
nobody.
stage setting, don't you? I mean, is 7 years to set the stage, or not research, but what, writing the script? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I mean, it certainly seems interesting that now, we've all talked about who was the first one with flat Earth. Was it, Math? Was it Eric Dubay? Well, really, these guys were the first ones. So it becomes a question as to, did somebody take their information and start to push that? I mean, it's just it opens up a lot of interesting queries, but still, that's not an alien in a bush. That's what it comes down to for me. And I would love to hear them say that it is, because that would just tell me I just can't get behind anybody lying to people's faces like that. Like I said, if you have your own belief, if you believe in aliens and you believe in the galaxy, and that's fine. You can still do experiments. You can still, and I can still take that experiments and look at them and make my own conclusions based on them. But when I see that you're telling people that you're talking to aliens in bushes, I got to draw the line.
Yeah, exactly. And then take a listen to what this alien sounds like. He sounds like a little cartoon. Let you have a little hint of it here.
Sono a terra. Ela é convexa. Não é esférica. Não é plana. Totalmente convexa nos continentes. Principalmente.
Kind of sounds like
My precious, my
Eu
precious.
sugiro para a demonstração justamente para provar que ela não é esférica.
Convex.
so.
We're
Yeah,
lying to everybody's face. This is just a man in a dark room behind a bush.
yes. So guys, yes, we were hoodwinked. You know, maybe we wanted to believe in them. You know, to the point thinking they were serious. And I have to admit, you know, hat tip to all the people that said, you know, they don't buy this. Like, you know, red flag media, you're right on the money. I wanted to believe it very much. It just goes to show you, you can get, you know, caught behind that. And at the time, I didn't really have any reason to disbelieve them, and it really made sense to me that they were coming out and speaking from a scientist type of paradigm, and that's why they were trying to put the pieces together the way that they were.
You know, the thing about it is, though, and this is just what I thought, is that if they were faking the experiments and that kind of stuff, I said, okay, well, they came across some of our information about flat Earth and they took it and kind of tried to make it their own. But really, it means that they had all this information before any of us did, and then took 7 years to make a documentary that they didn't make any money on. It got content blocked, so it made them absolutely zero. It cost them a lot of money to make. What is the point? I don't understand the point of it. I don't get what the point is. It's not like people could say, I've heard some people in the chat today and in comments saying they did this, they're making fun of flat earthers, it's a joke about flat earth. Well, that can't be true either, because they started this before there was anybody talking flat earth. So they're not making fun of it. What are they doing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. So, Kofo70 says, yeah, thanks, Kofo. Thanks, Paul, for that. And Jaron and I discussed this, and we were just debating on, you know, going back and forth, and we both just kind of came to the conclusion. It's like, look, you know, we screwed up, and we backed the wrong horse in this, and better to pull it now, eat a little crow. People are going to be making fun of us for the next few days. I can live with that. What I can't live with is people calling us liars and backing something that we know is absolutely false. Well, we didn't know it this afternoon, but we sure as hell know it now. And this is one of those situations that nobody wants to ever have to face. But you know what? We would be pretty pathetic if we, you know, stood behind this. So we can't.
Yeah, well,
we pulled it down, and there it is.
yeah, and just based on the information I had at the time, I thought it was still worth waiting it out. You know, I even made a comment on that video that said, let's wait it out and see until we find out if they really. I kind of looked at it and said they either did these experiments and therefore thank you very much, you know, have a good day, or they didn't, in which case they're dirtbags. Now, at this point, I don't need to wait really anymore because they've already kind of fulfilled, in my opinion, you know, option 2. So at this point, we just need to, I guess, look at those experiments and go do them ourselves, and leave the rest to Bilu and the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I just can't. I don't know what to say about it because it is eating crow, and yeah, definitely a hat tip to everyone who. I got a ton of messages and a ton of text, and you know, check this out, look at this video, and most of the people I just told, yeah, I agree. Hey, I don't have the same beliefs as them, but I don't see a big deal right now.
Yeah.
And that was before I saw some of this stuff. So they had a good inkling. They had their intuition was right. My intuition was, okay, well, they have different beliefs than me. I'll wait it out. And I waited it out until we could wait it out no more, which is when.
Convex.
It really is kind of comical. You got to laugh at it. So,
Well, that's why I'm like, I want to ask these guys flat out, like, that's a joke, right? It's meant to be a joke. And
Right.
I would pray on everything that they would say, yes, it's a joke. But I have this strange feeling they would try and tell me that they're talking to Bilu.
yeah, right. Well, you know what we can say? Hey, it was April Fool's. April Fool's, guys. We were just kidding. Unfortunately, we weren't.
Damn it,
but,
we could have played this totally different.
I know we could have totally played it different, but damn it, oh well, whatever.
It's actually past midnight here. It's April 2nd, so.
Yeah. Well, no, but when we had the show, it was April 1st. So.
Oh, it could have been our April Fool's show. Ah, shoot, we should have.
Yeah, right. Other than
Now I wish
that,
we would have really backed him a lot more.
yeah, we had some. I mean, we had some great stuff. The first part of it was great. We kind of ripped Mick West a new one. And that part of the show we'll edit and repost because that was actually
Yeah.
good. And that's part that really they're not. The Globers aren't going to be able to walk away from. But you know what? Hey, we're not crying tears over this, according to the trolls. No, these aren't tears. We are disappointed, bummed out, humiliated. Yes, eating crow, whatever. But again, like I said, better we out with it than support it because we do not support this. We won't support this, and turn the page. So
That's all you can do.
yeah, that's all we can do. I don't know what else to say about it, but we figured we better go live ASAP just to let everybody know that as soon as we saw this ridiculous freaking evidence, and by ridiculous I mean it's excellent evidence to show how ridiculous what we were almost backing, what we were backing turned out to be. So
I was not backing it.
I was.
mean,
I did. I said, you know what? I support these guys. I own that.
yeah.
Because I wanted to believe in them, and I'm like, let's wait until the research comes out. And wouldn't it be interesting? I don't even know what that's going to look like, but you have to wonder if they really, really did collect all this data for 7 years, right? And it's all based on this staged other thing. Obviously, we can't trust that data, but it's
No.
like, oh my God, to what degree did these people go to
But
absolutely?
why did they do it?
Yeah, why did they do it? And you know what? Another thing I said today, I can't even believe I said it. I said straight up, I said, if anybody thinks that they went through all this trouble, spent all this money, built all these models, shot all this film to pull an April Fool's joke, I said, you're an idiot, right? Well,
But
maybe
they
you're
didn't.
not.
That's the thing is that they didn't pull an April Fool's. They actually, I don't know. That's why I want to talk to them. I want to know what is their end game here, because they started this before we all did. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was just they just came about on the scene, it would all make sense to me. At this point, it would be like they saw our info, they made some documentary for whatever reason. I don't know if they attempted to make money off of it or whatever. Tried to kind of piggyback off what was going on, but they kind of were at the beginning of it. So then you have to say, well, what did they were just holding this for 7 years and making this documentary for what reason? And they flat out said, as I showed people, or I read the text and everything, or the email and showed Bob, that they said from the very beginning that they weren't trying to make any money off of it, that they wanted it out in the public domain, so they weren't going to monetize it. They didn't want anybody else monetizing it. And then as soon as I put it on my channel, within a few minutes, I got content matched, which means that somebody else has claimed part of the video, and that means that you can't make money off of it, even if they had tried.
Yeah,
now,
it was
I
for
didn't
the
try.
music at the end of the video was what it was for, because I got the same
Right.
thing.
Right.
And
So
so did
anybody
everybody
who-
that mirrored it.
Correct. So that means that we all have proof that they didn't make any money or can't make any money off the video. And from that, then you have to say, well, it obviously cost them money, from doing the experiments that we saw them doing. So what is the point? What is the end game?
And
I mean,
moreover, who financed it? And to what end? I mean, that's the part that I'm really curious about now, because how could anybody legitimately start this research like this, go through all this expense, all the production, building of the models? It's like, oh my God, this apparently they really will go to this level to either discredit the flat Earth community or something. I mean, honestly, like I said, a lot of you guys knew it. Red Flag Media knew it. You said, I don't have a good feeling about that. David, deep inside the rabbit hole, said the same thing. I have a bad feeling about this. And I just kept saying, well, que sera. And you're right. We got punked.
Well, I would love to ask them. Are they saying? I got to bring up the chat. I want to see, Paul and Red Media. I would love to hear you tell me what is their goal here. How could they have started it and then been? I guess I'm going to bring up the chat. I want to see what they've got to say, because I'm just confused. I don't get it. Let me see what we see here. Somebody help me out here. What am I missing? What are they doing? Kofa want to speak live. Let's see. Behold. Jinn do exist, so I cannot dismiss them. So that person there is saying that little alien exists in the bush?
Well, let's just say that even and I have an open mind, guys. Obviously, that's no secret. I will consider just about anything. But what I saw in the bush, even though it did look like a lot of um, the typical gray alien that's out there, I just wasn't buying it because I mean, come on, how cliche, how ridiculous, honestly. A little alien hiding behind a bush talking about this, to these guys. It's absurd. So no, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Do I still believe that there are these type of entities out there? I think it's a good possibility, yeah. But I just don't think that this is one of those cases. Um,
A lot of people are asking, is there any possibility that the alien's real? So, and a lot of people are just joining us. Let me recap real quick what's going on. So, we all know, 3, 4 days ago, Convex Earth came out with this documentary. We all watched it. I told them ahead of time. I said, "Hey, I want to watch it first, and if I agree with it or I like it, then I want, would you allow me to put it on my channel? As it would help you. It would help push the video a little bit." And I said, "But I want to watch it first." So they said, "Yeah, no problem. We'll even give it to you early." So they gave it to me a few hours early. I watched it, sent it to David Weiss, who watched it, and I was pretty happy with it. The experiments were good. I didn't agree with the second half, but the first half seemed decent. So I put it on my channel. Within a couple hours, I started getting messages from people saying, hey, these guys are into UFOs. These guys are into this alternative stuff. They're into the occult. You name it. I got all these messages. And so I did pull the video yesterday for a few hours while I did a little bit of research and came to the conclusion after emailing them and getting a response that basically said, yeah, a lot of people lie about us and say nonsense, but we're going against the mainstream. So that's what happens. So I said, okay, well, I put the video back up. We had Globebusters today in that show. We pretty much said the same thing, that, hey, let's wait it out. Let's see if they'll come on the show. Let's wait. There's no use in burning them at the stake yet. They haven't done anything really wrong. I said they're not hurting anybody. Bob kind of said that he backed them, or was at least behind the documentary. And then we went off the air, whatever. And a few hours ago, we got more messages, this time including a video that Bob can bring up now if he wants again, of these guys in 2011 getting the information of the flat Earth or of the convex Earth, in their opinion, from an alien in a bush named Bilu, who speaks like, what's that little guy's name? That
cousin It from the Addams Family, sort of.
So we saw that, and at that point, Bob just said, "Oh man, what do we do?" And we just said, "Well, we got to pull the video because we can't stand behind this." And that's, and like we said, props to everyone who had their doubts early on and were thinking that something was up, because these guys are basically the definition of quacks, in my opinion. Now, the people asking, is there a chance that the alien's real? Hey, I'm open to everything. And that's why I said it's important to me I don't think that there's any such thing as aliens. I don't think that these beings come to Earth and that they hide in bushes and they speak in a little foreign tongue. But I'm open to all evidence when something can be proven. So that's why these guys did email us back, and they emailed me back like immediately after the show, which kind of tells me that they listened to the show. I could be wrong about that, but they're only about 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. So that means that when the show goes on at noon for me, it was only 3 p.m. in Brazil or 4 p.m. at the latest or so. So it tells me that they could have been watching. They watched, and we basically said on the show, it comes down to, are they going to come on the show and tell us about their research and what they believe? And then they emailed me right after the show and said that they were interested in coming on the show. So at that point, I was kind of excited. So, okay, this will be great to hear from them. We'll get to ask them some questions that we've heard in the community about what their beliefs are, about aliens, about UFOs. But then we saw this video of them talking to an alien in a tree. And at that point, again, it's just something I certainly don't believe exists or happens. But if they're still interested in coming on the show next week, they're more than welcome to come and tell me to my face that they are actually talking to an alien and that this man is bending what is clearly a plastic fork. And, we'll go from there. But I can't back the documentary, so I pulled it off my channel. Bob pulled it off of Globebusters, and then also pulled the show today because the second half of the show was us basically saying, let's wait it out. Don't think anything's wrong yet. We don't need to grab our pitchforks and go burn. You have a witch hunting or witch burning. But we also just, when we saw this, we said, okay, now these guys are hurting people. When you're telling people that you're able to do the things that this guy's doing, or that they're talking to aliens in bushes. That's too much for me. That you've gone over the line. That's nonsense. Again, somebody asked, we're not even taking the into account whether or not this alien is real. And you're right, I'm not, because I don't think aliens hide in bushes and tell people that the Earth is not a sphere. Could I be wrong? Sure, I always could be wrong. But there's the beach right there. The pear. Why was the pear there?
Well, pear Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Obviously, from Neil deGrasse Tyson was right. It's a pear Earth, right?
So this person says, one idea, they are Freemasons. They planted the alien, telling them the flat Earth and other foolery. Then they come out with a flat Earth documentary, and their previous videos will discredit the flat Earth. What? So, but the thing is about it is they came out with this video, the one that we saw with the alien telling them about the flat Earth, in 2011. So that's before Eric Dubé made a video. That's before Math Powerland made a video. That's interesting to me. I mean, that's where, and then I wonder what would be the whole point of it. So they're Freemasons. Okay. They kind of gave out some of what we believe to be the truth. They kind of put some of that out there in that video in 2011. My question is, Bob, do you think these guys really believe that the Earth is convex, and they're using the alien as a way of so let's put it in let's put it in this situation. Let's say, Bob, that you and I are UFO believers, and we start to realize or think that the Earth is flat, and we have a bunch of people that watch us that are UFO believers. Maybe we, and I'm not saying we would ever do this, I'm just kind of saying, playing like we're them. Maybe they thought, hey, this will give our idea more credit. This will give our idea more backing if we pretend it came from an alien. That's kind of my only thought. That
all right,
I don't know.
Here's my problem with that, Jaron. It's hard for me to answer that because I do believe in UFOs, and the reason I say that is because I have seen them. I have seen several of them. They've flown right over the top of our house, completely silent. Now, I don't necessarily believe that they belong to little green men. I think they're probably part of a government black ops project. But the fact is that whatever they are, they exist. I don't necessarily think that they are housing little grays like Bilu, but maybe they are. I don't know. But so it's difficult for me to say that. But one thing I would never do is build up this whole facade based around any belief in UFOs or even aliens. And I think if there are aliens, like I said, they probably come from beyond the ice wall, or maybe other lands that are hidden, or whatever, that hidden land up north. I mean, there were so many elements of it that really seemed like it made a lot of sense, and it went kind of hand in hand with a lot of the mythology and alternate
but my head hurts.
ideas.
Why wouldn't they include Bilu in their documentary?
But that's a good question.
So they had to know, because it's on the internet, it's on YouTube, that somebody would just search and find out that this information came from this so-called Bilu. So I still cannot grasp what the end goal is here. What are they trying to do? They just discredited themselves as so-called scientists or researchers by lying about where this information came from. So now you've destroyed that. I cannot wrap my head around it. I'm going to read some of these comments because maybe somebody has got the answer and I can't find it. It's possible that the entire goal was to link the Flat Earth documentary with the fake alien video to make entire Flat Earth look kooky. That's interesting. Now, here's the other thing that's interesting, Bob, is that video that says 2011. Well, guess what? Guess who has no credibility with me anymore and being able to trust when things came out? YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube has now allowed SpaceX to change live stream. So at this point, how do I know that video wasn't input last year and put in 2011 to do exactly what that comment just said?
Well, to be fair, when you look at him, he does look quite a bit younger in this. But, who knows? I mean, if you're looking at him, the picture of, what's his name, the UFO guy.
I wasn't even seeing it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does look younger. Let me back up to him.
So this person here, I mean, this is what I don't understand. I don't think you guys are grasping either. Plain Walker said they wanted us to look stupid. Okay, so here's what you're not getting, is that video was in 2011, before there was anybody making any flat Earth video. So how would that have been the point? How would they have come out with the flat Earth before anybody else did, and then make 7 years of making, and then that's a huge huge hoax. And it's not like it was I don't know, stupid, if you ask me. Once the mainstream people look into these great science researchers who just discovered flat Earth, people will go back to see the ridiculous alien video, and flat Earth is discredited officially.
Yeah. And George Smith says the mainstream media will crucify the Brazilians for this alien and use it against flat Earth. And George, well, I wish I could disagree with you, but I think that's entirely possible. So the best thing we can do is, like I said, do exactly what we're doing now. Identify it, say, look, even we were taken in by it until obviously we saw the evidence that, clearly made them out to be complete nutcases. But, what do we do, right? What do we do?
Yeah, crazy. I don't know. Don't know at all. It's pretty crazy. But interesting.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat too here. But so anyway, guys, I mean, I don't know what else we can do to clean up, do any more damage control. We pulled the videos. That's obviously the best that we can do at this point. We're doing this show right now saying, it's not, at this point, we certainly have no reason to believe anything. Here's a picture of him right here, Jaron. He does look younger there. So, yeah, I'd say maybe that there's a good chance that this actually is 7 years old.
I was watching the live stream and I was like, what, Bilu looks younger?
Yep. So anyway, yeah, I know. We're not going to sweat it too much. Like I said, if anything, the worst case is right here. Obviously, we're embarrassed about it, and we're going to eat crow, and we're going to take crap over it. But oh well, right?
Jeremy Williams is dead wrong. He said, Jaron, on your channel, if you delete a past video and post another video over it, this being the video being called into question, it will keep the date stamp from the previous video. So, Jeremy, what you're missing is SpaceX did a live stream, and then after the live stream ended, went and changed it, and it still says live stream. That is not possible. There's not even an option to do so. So you're wrong. I cannot delete a video from my channel and then re-upload another video and it keep the date stamp or keep the word live stream on there. It's not possible. Ask anybody. So you're wrong about that. They did something that no other channel is able to do, period. You cannot live stream and then go into it and add a video on top of, and what I mean on top of, they took a little portion of a video and put it on top of another, like picture in picture, and change the live stream. So I would dare you to go try it. You'll see quickly that it's not possible. Anyway, no, there's nothing much else we can say. I mean, people can say whatever they want. I don't think it discredits Flat Earth in the least bit. And if people try and use that for that reason, it makes no sense. None of us are with them at all. As I've said from the very beginning, I have no affiliation with them. I have never met them, have never talked to them, besides emailing them the day before their video came out and said, hey, if I like the video, can I put it on my channel? So, that sucks. I think that's the thing I feel worst about is I don't know if they did it for just notoriety. But what I mean by that is kind of a way to get more people to look into them. I guess they might feel like there's a bunch of flat earthers that are somehow into aliens. I don't know. And that this will now make people go watch their channel. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Not when you've come out with a video in 2011 talking about some alien telling you the secrets of the universe, and then you take 7 years to do a documentary, and it just so happens in those 7 years, Flat Earth takes off. And I think every experiment that they explained, in my opinion, would result in the results that they showed. So I don't really understand why they would discredit their entire operation. And let's go do those experiments. That's all I can say, and at least find out if those are the case, if those are true. And because I understand what some people are saying. Some people are saying, well, no flat Earth or no scientist will touch flat Earth now. They're going to stay far away from it. Well, if they fake the experiments and the experiments really would not do what they showed, then you're probably right. But if that's the case, then I don't want to be a flat earther. So that's what it comes down to is I think all those experiments would show that. And all the experiments that we've seen do show that the earth is flat. Therefore, I have to tend to think that they believe what they're showing, that they did the experiments that they showed. But again, like Bob said, now how do you believe that and also believe they talk to aliens in bushes? And it's tough to have both those beliefs. So at this point, I've just dropped them altogether, and I just hope that we get out and get to do some of these experiments. They gave us some good ideas of ways to do them, And I say we just got to do the experiments and put them into the light of reality and find out if they really would amount to what they said. But I can't trust them anymore unless I trust Bilu.
Convex are.
Yeah, and that's it, unfortunately, because with this discovery, even if by chance it was legit, which I would have the hardest of times believing that any part of it is real now.
Who,
And
Bilu?
yeah, yeah, obviously
You mean the
Bilu.
experiments?
But I mean the experiments. Crap. Anyway, sorry guys. What can I say? But we just thought we'd go live and get this cleared up and spread the word. Let's not let them get away with this, and we will bear the brunt of this joke. And que sera, we deserve it, and that's okay. We will move on. So I guess that's pretty much all we have to say about it. Hey, Jern?
That's it. I'm going to see if Bilu's open for a mascot job. He can be the Flat Earth mascot, I guess. I got bushes in my backyard and 2 little eyes I could put in there, and put a little voice box in there, and I'll get all the secrets from Bilu.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know what? This is going to be a great meme for the future. We'll probably win a Flatty for this one. I don't know what the category will be. Biggest bonehead move in Flat Earth? Who knows? I don't know. But okay, guys. Well, I guess we're going to call it a night. It's 1:40 at night, or excuse me, yeah, 1:40 at night, almost here in Denver. And I know it's early over in the UK and pretty late on the East Coast. But I guess we will call it a show, and we'll be back next week. And maybe we'll even have these guys on, and maybe they can explain themselves.
Explain. What is that guy's name? The UFO guy. What's his first name?
Urander or something like that.
Yeah, I think
his
Bilu
initials are
for,
UFO, which
and Bilu stands for Bob is loving your lander. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh my. Okay. All right, guys. On that note, we're out of here. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you soon. Peace out, everybody.
Don't lie about aliens in bushes. Don't do it.
That's right.
Peace.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.